Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. I am very excited to have everybody here for this special Shabbat. Last night was a wonderful turnout, and today is just as good. Pink and Teal Shabbat is all about breast and ovarian cancer and something called the BRCA gene mutation, which is actually prominent in Ashkenazi Jews. And sorry, I wasn't ready to come up and do this. And basically, this whole thing is about bringing community together. Last night we had Temple Beit Torah here with us, because this isn't just about Temple Shalom. This isn't even just about Colorado Springs. This is nationwide. We are just one of many communities that are doing special stuff this weekend to commemorate all of this and bring awareness to it. And in light of that, I actually found some speakers for a speaker for last night and one for today. One who, who we all know, Dan Meyer, whose mother recently went through a fight with ovarian cancer. And so he approached me and said he'd like to use this opportunity to honor her. So, that being said, let's welcome Dan Meyer.
Shabbat Shalom. I don't know that I've ever been this nervous to speak in front of the congregation. Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you, Kat, for organizing and leading this year's Pink and Teal Shabbat. As many of you know, my mother, Ellie Meyer, passed away recently from ovarian cancer. My mom was a woman of many facets. She had an amazing sense of humor. She was creative, resourceful, selfless, and stubborn. But above all else, she was my mom. It was during a routine medical exam in March of 2014 that the doctors discovered a mass in her abdomen, and she was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. The older of my two sisters was with her when the doctor delivered the news of her diagnosis. For my sister, who had just lost her husband 2 months prior, this was an especially difficult time. But despite the diagnosis, my sister reported that my mom was smiling, her optimism was shining through the fear that she must have really been experiencing. The next 18 months would prove to all of us that our mom was resilient and fearless. She dove right in to conquer this new challenge that was presented to her, and she would fight the cancer head-on and optimistically. Through chemo treatments, doctor visits, and blood tests, my mom took it all in stride. She loved to chat with the other patients during her chemo, and she would smile for the pictures that my sister would send us during those visits. She didn't dread the hour she sat receiving the chemo. In fact, she looked forward to those days being able to visit with her new friends. She, of course, experienced many of the typical side effects, including fatigue and bone pain, and of course the dreaded hair loss, which my mom actually took great pride in and saw it as a badge of courage. After about a year, my mom's body started to react negatively to the chemo. This was the time that hope began to fade, and the first indication that my mom was becoming fearful and apprehensive. Although she still joked around with the staff at the infusion center, laughed with her doctor, and tried to keep a strong front for her kids, we knew she was in a lot of emotional and physical pain. As time went on and her cancer started to show signs of returning, we all started wondering if she would win the battle, and we knew that she was wondering this as well. On August 15th, this year, my mom made the absolute bravest decision that I believe anyone can make, and that no one could have ever made for her. She chose to stop the chemotherapy. The physical and mental toll of all the treatments was just too high, and she had become resolved to the fact that she was not going to win this battle. It was my brother who called me to tell me the news, and I was, of course, devastated to hear that my mom would begin hospice care later that day. And for Kate, knowing that her Grama Oy would not be at her bat mitzvah brought to her previously unknown sadness. And while it broke all of our hearts, we knew that it was for the best, and we found some solace that she would no longer be in pain. On September 7th, at 6:15 in the evening, surrounded by her 4 children, and at the young age of 70, my mom took her final breaths as she lost her battle with ovarian cancer. The journey from diagnosis to death was one filled with emotion for all of us. Sometimes there was joy, sometimes there was sadness, but there was always hope. And most importantly, my mom was never alone in her battle. Doctors, nurses, family, friends, and even other patients, all were there to help my mom fight. The illness impacted all of us. We changed our schedules to make sure that we could visit during critical times, and we all became experts on the diagnosis and available treatments. We collectively became the caregivers for the woman who had previously cared for us. And when the fight was over, we then turned to providing comfort, not only to her, but to one another. In the end, my mom became one of the approximately 14,000 women that will die from ovarian cancer this year. She had already been one of the 20,000 women diagnosed annually with the disease. And even despite the declining rate at which women are diagnosed, it is estimated that 1 in 73 will develop ovarian cancer in their lifetime. This cancer ranks 5th in cancer deaths among women and accounts for more deaths than any other cancer of the female reproductive system. The survival rate for cancer discovered at stage 1 can be over 90%, but only 15% are discovered at this phase. Unfortunately, many cases, like my mom's, they aren't detected until stage 3, where the 5-year survival rate is as low as 35%. Pink and Teal Shabbat is about much more than wearing special colors and sharing statistics. It's about remembering those we have loved and lost, and it's about creating hope. There's no shortage of opportunities for you to become involved in the fight against cancer. You can donate money to any of the cancer treatment centers or nonprofit fundraising organizations, participate or volunteer in an event, such as the Race for the Cure, or donate hats and scarves to Penrose Cancer Center. Reach out to the wonderful men and women of hospice. These are the most amazing, loving, and caring people in the world. Tell them thank you, because they bring comfort at a time when families are dealing with great loss. To help yourselves, you should become educated on the early signs of cancer, and don't ignore the symptoms. And finally, the most important and impactful thing you can do is to just be there. Be there for your friends or family with a handshake or a hug, words of encouragement, and words of love. Thank you all for being here to listen to my mother's story, and thank you once again to Kat for organizing this very meaningful Shabbat. Since I spent some time sharing with you what cancer does, I thought in closing I would tell you what it cannot do. This is a poem written by an anonymous author titled, "What Cancer Cannot Do." Cancer is so limited. It cannot cripple love. It cannot shatter hope. It cannot corrode faith. It cannot eat away peace. It cannot destroy confidence. It cannot kill friendship. It cannot shut out memories. It cannot silence courage. It cannot reduce eternal life, and it cannot quench the spirit. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Well, the sun is surely sinking down, but the moon is slowly rising. So this old world must still be spinning around, and I still love you. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes, it's all right. I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore. But I can sing this song, and you can sing this song when I'm gone. It won't be long before another day we gonna have a good time, and no one's gonna take that time away. You can stay as long as you like, so close your eyes. You can close your eyes, it's all right. I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore. But I can sing this song, and you can sing this song when I'm gone.